not a very structured episode today, guys. We're kind of doing a public service announcement, and we'll do a little bit of back and forth discussion on what our thoughts are. This is all kind of completely raw. So a little background. We say it all the time. We have no idea what we're doing with batteries. Nobody has any idea what they're doing with batteries. And things come onto the market, ideas come on. There's no right way or wrong way right now to do something because nobody knows. Like, we haven't figured out exactly what we're doing yet. And as a result, ideas come to market, ideas get tested, ideas get bought and sold. And for the most part, the ideas are great. But while we're using this equipment, we are learning the constraints of the equipment, and that's kind of what this episode is about today. So a little bit of background. We are specifically talking about lithium-ion batteries, lithium-ion EV vehicles, and fire blankets. We have taught in our class for a long time, and believe it or not, like, we actually have a pretty good network of hazmat instructors throughout the country, not just ones that teach with the hazmat guys, but the instructors within hazmat world are pretty well together. And there have been 2 events. Now, we theorized that this could happen a long time ago, but nothing ever happened. Nobody ever said this happened. But we have 2 events that have happened within a couple of weeks of each other. Unfortunately, the information is kind of being held by those agencies because they don't want to put stuff out too early. They want to have scientific investigation. We're a little bit against that because we kind of believe, hey, listen, this is an event that happened. We may not understand it, but the information should be out there because it affects how the guys operate. And that is 2 deflagration events that happened during lithium-ion battery EV fires and the use and testing of blankets. Okay. So the first one happened at UL Labs, and they used the blanket. The blanket put out a ton of smoke like it normally does, and there was a deflagration event. Relatively energetic. And then the same thing happened in New York with the NFPA. There was a deflagration event. Now, unfortunately, the event in New York, 2 firefighters got hurt. So we are now seeing this as a possibility of them getting hurt. So what is happening? What is the deal with it? Some questions that we need to answer by the end. Should we just get rid of blankets altogether? Should we not use them at all? Should we be abandoning that idea? We'll kind of talk about that as we get towards the end of the podcast. But let's try to figure out, first of all, what do we think is happening under these blankets? I know we've talked about it in the past, but when we had this concern a while ago, what was it that we were concerned about, Bob?
Well, one of the things is that I'm not going to say the vast majority. I think it's over 50% of the failure gases that come out of the things are hydrogen, which is, as the kids say, hella, flammable.
It's low key.
No bet. It's actually high key. Actually, it's pretty public facing. And the other one, it brings oxygen, right? So this allows it to go on fire, or at least have fire events underwater, right? So if we're saying, and I understand that the blanket is not an exclusion thing, right? It's not like, and this is where I think a conflation of ideas comes about, is that people understand if I have a candle in a jar and I put a piece of cardboard on top, the fire goes out magically. How does that happen? Because it ate up the oxygen and it went oxygen deprived. So people are thinking I put the blanket on top and it stops that whole thing.
Right.
And that's not true.
It is true for non-EV vehicles.
Right, to non-EVs.
Right. So when you take a look at these videos and people are putting blankets over the cars and they're like, this works on EV cars, like, what? Look under the car, because they got a pan of diesel burning under that car.